All right, everyone. Welcome to the Angry Asian Uncle podcast. I am your host, Reynold, and my co-host.
Hello, everybody. It's Vic.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And today we have another guest, Karla. Karla, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. My name is Karla J. Nolan. I am a wife, a mom, award-winning author,
Wow, that's a
certified
lot.
life, yes,
Right.
certified life coach, and I have a heart for helping women who have gone through trauma get back to their authentic selves.
Wonderful.
Yes, definitely a great thing. So tell us more about that. Yeah, can we?
Yeah, I'll just give you a little journey of how I got here. So in
Sure.
2019, my mom passed away from cancer, and it was quick. And that hit me in the gut. So not
Mm.
only am I grieving, but also was the executor of her estate.
Hmm.
And I had to go through that pathway of not only handling her affairs, but having to put my grief on the side. And there were so many
Hmm.
things that I wasn't aware about when it comes to the process of planning for a funeral, getting someone's affair in orders, the dividing up assets. I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Um,
Yeah.
but I wanted to honor her and honor her legacy. So right after she passed away, then COVID hit and the world stopped. And I
Mm.
had no choice but to face my grief. But in that grief, um, everything opened up that was in my heart. Traumas, generational trauma that I was holding on to, and I wanted it to stop. It was no longer serving me. So I did online therapy. And with that, so many other things came about. And that's really when my healing began. And out of that, I was like, well, if this was hard for me and difficult for me, I want to help other women help them through the same thing because so much of my life and my identity was tied through what I have went through and my trauma. Like, who am I outside of the trauma? Who am
Hmm.
I outside of everything negative that I faced, everything negative that was told to me? I didn't know who that person was because I spent a lot of my life people pleasing and making other
Hmm.
people happy, but didn't know how to make myself happy. So I thought to myself, okay, I already have a college degree. I don't want to go back and become a therapist. So, man, that's a lot of work and a lot of clinical hours.
Hell
So,
yeah.
what
Yes.
can I do to help women? So, I became a certified life coach, and from that, that's when the coaching business began. But really, after my mom died, I started writing out all my feelings because I journaled a lot as a kid, and I didn't realize that I had the gift for writing and really tapping into emotions and really connecting with readers. That gift wasn't nurtured, but it came about after my mom died. So I was like, I never written a book before, but here we go, and it
Mm.
ended up being a spiritual book award winner. So
Mm.
I'm very proud of that. From my pain came about a passion, and that's what I enjoy helping people through. And so I named my coaching practice and also self-publishing Reveal, Heal, Thrive, because I
Hmm.
truly believe we have to reveal what's going on inside of our hearts so we can begin to heal, so we can thrive.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Uh, it's very interesting. Yeah, and then
Mhm.
I feel, I think, yeah, many times, probably not just women, but men too. Like we sort of, as things pile up, right? As we grow up and grow older, things pile up, and then our authentic selves is just hidden under that, whether it's trauma or whatever it is going through our lives. It's just hidden under that, and then we just keep on, chugging along, thinking of one day it'll be okay. I don't know,
Mhm.
right? I don't know. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I also feel like, well, I don't know about in Taiwan, but definitely in the US, when you meet someone, usually the first thing they say, well, what do you do? It's never
Mm.
about who you are, it's what do you do. So what we
Hmm.
do is tied to who we are.
Hmm.
When that's not the case, right? So
Right.
if you lose your job or you get cut from the basketball team, that does that mean you're no longer a person?
Right. Yes.
Right.
No,
Yes.
your
No.
That's
your
a good
gifts,
insight.
Yeah.
yeah, your gifts, your talents, your passions, they go with you wherever you go, right? So
Right.
whatever you face, whatever hardship, whether it's unemployment, I say I'm going to use a lot of basketball references because my sons play basketball. So
Oh,
Okay.
whether
perfect.
you're
Reynolds
cut,
would be very
Right.
happy.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, whether you're cut from the team, change
Mhm.
your perspective and look at it as this is the end of a season. Now it's time to start a new chapter. But who you are authentically is with you wherever you go. It's not tied to what you do, it's who you are. And a lot of us forget who we are because it's wrapped up in what we do, right?
Yeah,
That's
I can
true.
confirm with you,
Yeah.
Carla, that it's the same here in Taiwan as well. It's
Yeah.
very unforgiving. You know,
Yes.
people usually like if you meet somebody new at a party or at a dinner and, you know, several minutes into the conversation, it inevitably go into, so what do you do? You know,
Yeah.
Hmm.
like a lot of your
Hmm.
self-worth is tied up to what you
Yeah.
do and how much money you make.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, in Asian culture, um, they don't really ask you directly how much you make because that would be rude. But you know, they have other ways to sidestep to kind of feel out what you do and probably how much you make in a year. And you know, a lot of times that's it's quite uncomfortable if you're not quote unquote successful in the eyes of society, right? Yeah, so I can confirm with you, it's the same here.
Yeah.
I'm from a Caribbean culture, so it's pretty much the same thing
Yeah,
as
and
well.
it's so unfortunate that like
Yeah.
when they do that, it seems like your self-worth is tied to how much money you make, right? When in fact, like you said, there's so much more to a person, and I wish more people would see that. You know, it's not all about how much money you make.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because based off of what you do is where the judgments come in,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the biases come in based off of what you do. Or what I do is my passion, the writing and the coaching, but I work in corporate America. I also see it in corporate America. If you stay in a position too long, they're like, okay, you're still here. But what if you're passionate about what you're doing in that
Yeah.
position?
Right.
You're still here.
Right.
There is still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
been
you
promoted
can't.
yet?
It's so
Even if you
uncool.
have
You're still here.
Right. Even if you have promoted, but you enjoy what you do, what's the problem? What's the
Right.
problem about it? That's why I
Yeah.
say just go after what you want to do. Go after your dreams because people are going to say what they're going to say regardless. And you have to
Right.
be able to shut out that noise so you can focus on yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very true.
Mhm.
True. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Many times, even in Asian culture, we're not able to be our authentic selves because the, at least the older generation don't like to see out of the box thinking, out of the box actions. Maybe now with the younger generation, it's a little bit better, but yeah, and usually in Asian culture, you want to stick to the program, you know, be inside the box, or work that 9 to 5, and then do what you're supposed to do, right? Become go to school, get a good career, earn a lot of money, and then that becomes your identity. But a lot of people, that's you know, in the Western culture, it's like, no, I want to be myself. I want to do what I want to do. And that may not be a very high paying executive job or something. It might not be a doctor or a lawyer or something,
Mhm.
you know. It could be just doing art, right? A lot of times, like we said in past episodes, you know, like doing art, musician, that's a passion. And so, but a lot of parents, like our parents, be like, oh no, yeah, do it just so it looks good on your college application. But after that, yeah, don't waste your time on that because that's going to get you nowhere,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's survival mode, right?
Yeah.
My
Mm,
parents was that of the silent generation. So it's survival mode. You work that 9 to 5, you keep your head down, you go to
mm,
church on Sunday, you take care of your family, and that's it. Any
yeah.
other passions, oh, God forbid you say self-love or compassion for yourself. Who has time for
Right.
that?
Hmm.
There's things
Exactly.
to do. And then that gets passed down where to your children, where you feel like, okay, I don't have a voice. Let me just people please to get by. Now that survival mode has been passed down to generation to generation to generation. Um,
Hmm.
my mom lived her life with a lot of fear because of the traumas that she went through, and she projected a lot of that fear on me. So a large part of my life was in fear, was in people pleasing, was in spaces where I did not belong because those either weren't my people or tribe, or I wasn't meant to fit into those spaces, right? So when she passed away, there was also a flip side of this because I no longer have that fear of disappointing her. I can now just live my life. But what if we just
Hmm.
learn to set boundaries with our loved ones and just lived our lives anyway? Because they're going to have something to say. Even if you become a doctor, they're going to have something to say about you being tired all the time, burnt out.
Hmm.
You're not doing enough. So
Not
just do
engaged.
get or divorced,
Oh,
they
Hmm.
yeah.
got something to say something about that too, because in
Hmm.
their generation you just put up with it, even if it's
Right.
toxic. You put up with it, you do what you got to do, and you keep it moving. But that's not living, or that's not thriving, that's just
Yeah.
surviving. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I had to unlearn that behavior.
Well, it's
Yeah.
amazing how many similarities I see between what you said and our culture here. There's just some things that are so universal. Exactly. Everything you
Yeah.
said, I think my mom went through the same thing. I think in her old age, my mom is like, I think my mom is 74 now. She's finally starting to let go of a lot of those negative imprints that have been passed on down to her. And by the way, she passed on a lot of that down to us, her children, and we're learning to
Hmm.
let it go. But I think we learned to let it go a little sooner than she did. And she's only beginning to do that now. Better late than never, right? And I think what Reynolds said earlier was right as well. Like sometimes it takes a new generation when they come up to work through a lot of that because they simply are not receiving as much of it. And also they just don't care. I think they don't really let that affect them too much. So sometimes that's a good thing. Um, for my generation, I'm 46 now, so like I'm yeah, kind of like in the receiving end of a lot of that still. And like Carla said, it takes tremendous amount of insights to recognize that in yourself and in your parents. And the trick I think is to learn how to balance those things while they're still around, right? And not wait till all of them have passed on to the other side before we start recognizing those things, right, Carla?
Absolutely. Trans aware Self-awareness is the first step in transformation, because we can go through the whole cycle of just doing the 9 to 5, doing the same routine every day, and we're not recognizing how these habits, these a mindset is affecting what we do. That's why it's so important to peel the onion back, sort of speak, and really get to the root of
Hmm.
what is going on in your heart, because that's where true healing begins. It's like an open wound. If I'm not taking the time to treat it, to do all the things I need to do to heal, I'm just going to bleed all over the place, not only on me but on everyone else as well. So
Right.
it's so important to work on that self awareness, and it's your personal work. You can't find it outside of yourselves. We love our family, we love our friends, but this is your work to do, because their vision, their perception of you is theirs. It's not
Hmm.
yours. So it's really important for you to work on yourself so that you can stand not only in your truth, but you can also learn what your core values are,
Mm.
right? And that learning your core values enables you to establish what you're going to say yes or no to, whether it's a job, whether it's invitations, family gatherings that you know is toxic.
Right.
Tell
You
me
know,
about it.
Yes.
maybe you won't stay the whole weekend. Maybe you'll just give them a couple of hours. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
Exactly.
recognizing
Yeah.
recognizing those things and how if you let it, the things around you can really impact your mental health and well-being.
Right.
Wow.
So we've
Yeah.
talked a
Very
little bit
true.
about the reveal and the heal, and
Hmm.
then any advice on the thrive part?
Yeah, when it comes to thriving, it's about, I like to say not about being perfect. No one is perfect. It's about recognizing that you are human. Things happen and it's okay. It's recognizing when you need assistance and you need help. I'm a big mental health advocate, and we have to really break the stereotype of seeking therapy or a therapist, or just going through any type of mental health support.
Hmm.
I like to say people think it's cool to have a coach, like, oh girl, what are you working on? But if you say you're seeing a therapist, they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Right.
We still have a we
Yeah.
still have that negative connotation about that. And in a
Yeah.
Caribbean culture, Black culture, Southern Black culture, it's like you don't tell your business to anyone
I
outside of this house.
see.
The whole
Right.
house can be on fire. You could be on fire. But when you go out there, you put a smile on your face. You don't let anyone know what's going on. So we don't know how to process. Then you don't know how to process your emotions. You don't know how to, there's a lot of guilt that comes with that as well, right? So that thriving piece is getting back to your authentic self, showing yourself compassion, forgiving yourself for what you thought you had to do to survive, because that's
Mm.
so important. And
Mm.
in doing the things that bring you joy, and
Mm.
recognizing within yourself, no is a complete sentence. As an
Mm.
adult, you don't have to explain yourself. No is just no.
Right.
If they
Right. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
res-
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
if
means
they
no.
don't exactly, if they don't respect that, well, that's on them. You know what I mean? That's on them to work out. That's not on you. And then go after those things that you dreamt about as a kid. It's still in there. So let's start setting goals and go after them. Forget about what the naysayers say, because
Mm.
they still have a limited mindset. They still have a limited perception of who you are. And then now, as an adult, you're putting yourself in that box, right?
Mm. Mm. That's
As a
right. Yeah.
child, as a child, we are not responsible for what happened to us as a child, but as an adult, you're responsible for your healing, right?
Hmm.
We can go through the cycle of what mama or what daddy did, what this person, that person did, but it's our responsibility to start that healing journey as an adult. Give yourself permission to heal.
Oh, wow. I mean, I've been trying to work a lot on what you said earlier about forgiving yourself, and you don't have to be perfect all the time. That really struck a chord with me because that's one of the struggles that I've been going through a lot growing up. I demand so much of myself, and every time I don't meet my own expectations, I'm very disappointed. And when I'm disappointed, it's a spiral, right? So you get disappointed and you get sad, you don't get motivated, you don't get motivated, you get more disappointed, and it just keeps going on, right? So I've really had to learn how to forgive myself more the last couple of years, and also not to always strive for perfection. You do the best you can, obviously, but if things don't work out exactly as you had planned, well, sometimes it's just what it is. You just keep moving forward, right?
Mm,
So yeah, powerful
absolutely,
lessons.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. And for you, Vic, I would say it's important to understand your why
Mm,
you're doing the thing that you're doing in the first place. Let that be your place of joy, right?
mm,
And when you make these steps, right, and you have these goals, take a moment to reflect and look back and see how far you have come. That's why it's so important to celebrate your milestones,
Hmm.
celebrate reaching your goals before you move on to the next thing, because
Hmm.
then you're steady just going, 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 and you're not taking the time to celebrate you. And that's
Mm.
so important. That
That's
goes
right.
back to that child. We were expected to get those A's. We're expected
Hmm.
to be this perfect person, but we're rewarded for the negative, but we're not rewarded for the positive, right? So
That's
now
right.
our
Yeah.
brain is just built on that survival mode. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I did this, because we had all those negative reinforcements, but we never had the positive report reinforcements of who we
Hmm.
are. And we can't just blame our parents, because they worked with what they worked with, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's an
yeah.
easy trap to
That's
fall
right.
into, right? Like I always,
Yeah.
It's
blame my
it,
parents. Like, oh yeah, they
exactly.
were terrible. Like they didn't know how to parent. They never gave us any attention. And then
It,
up to some point, right, Carla? It's like, yes, that's all true. But now that you're an adult, you have to put in the work and heal yourself. You have to
uh,
start working on
uh,
yourself, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. When my mom passed away, she had a bunch of journals. She started journaling before she retired. And so during COVID, I took the time to put all the journals in
Mm,
chronological order. And then I just read through them. And in reading them, I saw my mom as more
mm,
than just my mom.
mm-hmm.
Because as a child, you don't know your mom when she was like your age or younger, right?
Right.
You just
Yeah.
know this person that's in front of you that's responsible for feeding you, housing you, nurturing
Yeah.
you, taking care of you. So
Yeah.
I saw her in a new light, and I also saw parallels. And that's when I learned, whoa, this generational trauma is just being passed down and passed down and passed down. I was like, I got to be the generational curse breaker. So I have to be compassionate with myself. And also in my parenting, I had to break the cycle of projecting fear
Mm-hmm.
onto my children as well, and reinforcing, doing positive reinforcement with them, looking at them as a whole person, not just my
Right.
child,
Right.
right? And respecting their boundaries, and
Mm-hmm.
actually listening to what they have to say, because I want their voice to matter, not only in our home, but when they go out into the world. And for
Mm-hmm.
my older two sons, you are more than just basketball. Basketball is what you're doing, but you're more than that. So I want them to see themselves as a whole person, and that's how you break the cycles, right? Because
Mm.
like I also feel like I parented each child different. The first one definitely was parenting through trauma. The second one, I was like, oh, okay, I'm a little comfortable with this
Yeah.
mothering thing, but I'm still
Right.
dealing with the trauma. The third child
Yeah.
was years later, a new marriage, and years later, and then those things still, I didn't heal from them. That trauma
Mm-hmm.
still bubbled up. When he cried, I cried. If he did something at school, I couldn't separate his behavior for who I am. I blamed
Mm-hmm.
myself, just like my
Mm.
mom blamed herself. So I really had to go through therapy with about that as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Now,
Yeah.
Reynolds, what
Hmm.
do you think?
Yeah. I think I agree. I see the same myself, and I think a lot of times what I wanted to ask was Carla's opinion on when this all happens, whether it's parenting, whether it's a job or something. Uh, you mentioned before, when we go out there to the world, when we're talking to people and we say need to introduce ourselves, we hide our authentic selves, right? Like if we're broken down because our kids are just getting us very emotional, but we walk out there and we say, people ask, oh, how are you doing? Yes, I'm doing great, everything's fine. um and or just we're just powering through it, whether at work, like we put on that happy face, like, yeah, nothing's going on at home, just like you said, the house could be burning down and we just go to work, yeah, everything's fine, let's get to work here. And then, like, there's so little time, I find myself doing that, like there's so little time to heal or go through the process, because you always got to keep going, like you got to put on your game face, take your kids to school, get them get into the after school programs, go to work, go to church, and all this little time in between. There's so little time to heal from this, and then you sort of get lost in it, and then think, oh, uh, am I really, that feeling I was feeling that, early in the morning when I got up, like, oh man, life sort of sucks, like, oh, like, you know, and then,
The grind.
yeah, that you just start, okay, I have to leave that behind here, that feeling, stay in bed. I gotta go get through the day. I'll come back and I'll revisit you at night. But by the time you get home at night and it's time for bed, you're like, I'm too tired to deal with that. And let's deal with that in the morning. And then it just cycles keeps going. So I don't know for is there any suggestions on that?
I think this is what Karla was saying about you're constantly in survival mode, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, Randall, I would say this. If you were shot in the leg where you say, oh, I don't have time for this. I got to drop the kids off to school. I got to go to work. Your leg is bleeding all over the place. It's dangling. People say, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm fine. No, your leg is bleeding. It needs attention. You got
Right.
shot in the leg. Blood is life. Blood is
Yes.
leaving your body. It is life. So what would you do? You will go to the emergency room. It's no different with our mental health. The thing about our mental health, it can't be seen, so to speak, that you're not feeling well unless you check
Hmm.
in with yourself or people
Right.
see you visibly upset. So we make
Hmm.
time for what we want to make time for, because we could get on our phones after work and we can be scrolling for hours, right? Or we can sit in front of the TV to just cope and to just forget about what we're going through. All it takes is just an hour of your time to schedule a time with a therapist, check in with a trusted friend. Like, hey, I really want to know
Hmm.
how are you doing, right?
Hmm.
It's very important to have a supportive support group, have a therapist that you trust, whoever, whatever your circle looks like. If you don't have one, it's time to create one, connect with like-minded
Hmm.
people. But that
Yeah.
means you have to check in with who you are authentically, right? So it's
Hmm.
so important to check in with our mental health. Also, it's important too when you're looking for jobs to really understand the work culture that you're getting into. Um, the company that I work for, we have mental health services, right? So if you're having a day, you can go down to the mental health nurse practitioner and have a conversation with a mental health practitioner, right? Not
Wow.
every company has that, but there's some
Yeah.
companies that offer like have an employee assistant program where you get
Mm.
8 free therapy sessions. I
Wow.
implore anyone that has that in their company to take advantage of those programs. There's also lots of mental health programs like NAMI, where they have support groups free. You know,
Hmm.
connect with those organizations, and it's just an hour of your time. Like I said, we can be here scrolling all day on our phones just to ignore what we're going through, but it's so important to check in with yourself. It's so important, even in the morning, to just before you even start your day, whatever your faith is, just take
Hmm.
a moment to just silence yourself, right? To just be still before your day starts.
Right.
Um, Even in your work day, where you have a lunch, really take your lunch. A lot of people want to work through their lunch or whatnot. Really
Hmm.
take your lunch. If you can go outside, go for a walk, eat with a coworker that you trust, eat with a
Hmm.
coworker, and just enjoy your meal. Right? A lot of
Hmm.
times we're just going through life and we're not even taking a moment to enjoy.
Hmm.
Go for a mindfulness walk. Take a look at the trees. Look up at the sky. All these things we take for granted that we really lose our connection with who we are. And it just takes a moment. If it's 15 minutes throughout your day, start with
Hmm.
if you can't do an hour, start with 15 minutes, start
Hmm.
with 30 minutes, and just work your way up. We're really losing our connection with ourselves.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
real epidemic of loneliness among men, especially Asian men who are in their midlife crisis mode, like
Hmm.
us. Because
Mm.
Yeah, we don't really, well, first of all, we don't really know how to express ourselves a lot of the times. And secondly, yeah, sometimes we just don't have a lot of people we can talk to. But I think it's so important, as Carla said, to be mindful and really, even if it's just a few minutes a day, just reconnect with yourself and reconnect with friends, with people, right? Because like
Hmm.
recently I saw this study that they were comparing people who did all the right things, eat healthy, exercise, and take all kinds of vitamins and supplements versus people who just had a very loving and good community about them. And I think it's the Harvard study, right? So the Harvard study showed that these people who didn't do anything special but had a good community about them tend to live very satisfying and long and healthy lives. So you don't really even have to do anything very special. You just need to connect with other people who you connect with, who you vibe with. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find as well. Among Asian men, it's a little hard to do that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're born into family, so we're born into connection, right? We don't know what type of family we're going to be born into,
Hmm.
but but
Yeah, you can say that again.
exactly. But we're meant for connection. So, Vic, I challenge you to, if you can't find an Asian men group where you're just getting around, talking, socializing, to create
Hmm.
one, right?
Right,
But
right, right.
have the vision in your mind of what this looks like, what it feels like. What does this look like when the men come in, right? How do you want them to leave when they come out, right? They might have their
Mm,
head down, they might be unsure, they might be insecure. What is this? I was never taught to express how I feel, right? But
mm,
how do you envision them leaving the social circle or the support group, right? Is their head held high? Is their
mm.
heart open to receive, right? So if you can't find it, then create it, because there's something in you that has a passion for this. So go for it.
Right, right. I call it even if it's just a community of one, right? It means you got to
Hmm.
start somewhere, even if it's just a good friend, that you can check in with every day, and then slowly you can expand that circle, right? And then grow
Yeah,
that circle. Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we are afraid to create, I guess, because we think, at least for me, sometimes like I'm the only one going through this, right? That's my thinking, and then I'm just afraid to reach out. Just like I'm afraid to tell when someone says how you're doing, I'm afraid to say, well, not so great, right?
Yeah,
I have
sometimes
to say,
it's hard to be honest, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just say, oh yeah, I'm doing great. Where I'm just broken down inside, and then like
Yeah.
creating a group means to expose myself and like, oh yeah, I'm going through this. I'm not okay. Anyone wants to join me? That's sort of like, oh,
Mm.
like opening the wound for everyone to see. Like, oh, that looks nasty. Put it back in, cover it up.
I think
Right?
in Asian cultures, it's just generally not it's frowned upon, right? To
Yeah.
leave yourself that vulnerable.
Hmm.
Again, a lot of that I think is generational trauma that's been passed down to us because they needed to survive. I guess back in the day, if you stood out and exposed yourself like that, you could really get yourself in some pretty bad predicaments. And even though things have changed, a lot of that trauma has still lingered on till today, I
Yeah.
think.
Fix that.
Absolutely. It's up to us to break the cycle, right? Because we can't change the culture. That's
Oh
too deep.
no. Right.
That's too deep rooted. All you can
Right.
do
Yeah.
is all you can do is change yourself for the better. If you try to change the culture or change people's minds, change people's mindsets of the culture, I feel like you're just going up a hill, just
Hmm.
gonna slide back down again. So it's
Hmm.
really important to focus on yourself, your personal growth.
So
Because yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, Carla, I was going to ask you, since you're a mom and you have three boys,
Hmm. I
could you give
do.
us some advice or some tricks to maybe having better communication with your kids and raising them right, and raising them to be good men. Because you know, I have a son, and Reynold has a son, so we'd love to hear your insights.
Yeah. What I learned through my experience is that each child is different, and you have to meet that child where they are. You
Mm,
can't parent them the same.
mm,
It is not going to work. You have to look at them at each individual. Um, you can't brush off their feelings too. Like, what are you
mm.
crying about? Man up, and those
Well, that's
type of
what our
things.
parents did
No,
to us, right, Reynold? Like,
Right?
it's only fair we do that to our kids.
Right,
Just kidding.
exactly. An eye for an
yeah.
eye, right?
Right. My oldest is 25, and the next one is 22, and then
Mm,
my youngest is 13. I also have a
mm.
stepson that's 22 as well. So
Okay.
when they see me parenting the youngest, they're like, "You didn't treat us like that." I'm like, "Look, I learned, I healed.
Right, right.
I
Mommy's
can't
evolving too, you know.
exactly." I can't parent this one the same. And these
Mm.
13-year-olds that I forget what generation they're called, alpha, beta, alpha, I don't know what they are,
Yeah,
but they
right.
are different.
Yeah.
They have the tools, they have the language like,
Hmm.
Mom, you can't do that. You're gaslighting me.
Ooh.
Right,
You're not
right.
listening to me. So
Yeah.
that generation is so different. So I always say, parent each child according to their needs. If you have
Hmm.
multiple children like me, you can't be everywhere. So
Hmm.
just forgive yourself for that. I threw my superwoman cape off long time ago because I'm like, it
Oh,
is not serving me. I can't be anywhere. And I can't even put that expectation on myself. So it has to be clear communication. Like I can't be at your game. I can't do it. So
right.
I pick one. This is what I'm going to do. Or just have that talk and communication.
Mm.
Sitting
Right.
down as a family and having a family moment. Okay, these are the things going on. Listening to their input and asking their input. Right on certain things. Like, hey, I can't go to this game, but what do you feel about if I did this? Oh yeah, Mom, that's okay. Or just like I feel like when we grew up, no one listened to us. No one asked for our
Yeah.
input.
Right.
Even if
Exactly.
they were leading us off a cliff, we couldn't even question it, right? So it's
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
really yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's really about listening not to judge.
Mm.
Right.
Mm,
Because if you automatically come, especially with the teens, if you automatically come with judgment, they're going to know that, okay, this is not a safe place for me to open up with how I feel. So I'm going to go elsewhere to get my answers or for someone to listen
Mm.
to me. So
yeah.
it's very important to listen. Also, too, I feel like your parenting style changes as you get older. Like when they're
Sure.
younger,
Yes.
it's all about, especially with boys, you really have to keep them safe because they're doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
why are you doing a somersault and flip off the
Yeah.
couch? Like just crazy stuff. But it's
Right.
also yeah, but it's also about nurturing them as they grow. So the way I parent my 13-year-old, of course, is different from the 25-year-old. The 25-year-old and the 22-year-old, I'm not parenting them like this is what you need to do. I'm not doing that. I'm listening. Okay.
Mhm.
What brought you to this decision? Oh, I see the growth in that. I
Mm.
reckon I'm seeing them as men and not just my baby because I have to recognize they're not my babies anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
So yeah,
tremendous step, Carla,
Yeah.
that you're
yes,
taking. I mean, like in the
ab-
old days, you would have just whooped their ass, right?
exactly. No, my 13-year-old says that's assault. We cannot do that.
Oh, man.
Yes,
What?
yes.
Oh,
He has.
Spank them.
man. Oh,
Yes,
They don't know how
man.
good they have it these days.
I
no, they
know
do.
they
They
do
do.
not. And
They
my
I
do
my
wonder, I
not.
wonder how much of our little good deeds will be remembered by them in the future, once we're gone. It's like when I look back to my own upbringing and I compare them to how I raised my own child, I'm like, wow, they have it so good compared to us. And I want
right.
to appreciate what they're getting.
Right,
Yeah, I think that's just
exactly.
the evolution of the generations because I'm sure our parents said the same thing about us too,
Oh,
right?
probably. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
what are
Yeah.
you complaining
yeah,
about? You have food on the table.
Right,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
More
Right.
than I got.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I only beat you once a week. I was getting it daily. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
exactly. No, it's almost like a joke, but yeah, honestly, I think that was the case. Yeah.
Oh my
Because my
God.
mom was my mom I think related to what Carla said. My mom when growing up, even now, her thing is always, I don't care. I am the mom. Whatever I
Hmm.
say is right. Even if I'm
Hmm.
wrong, I am right.
Mm,
Hmm.
And then she never, and just like you said, she never asked for my opinion. Even now, I'm older. I have more knowledge. I went through more schooling than her.
Hmm.
But she's still like, even when she's asked for my opinion, like asked for like, oh, here, suggest something, like, oh, she doesn't believe me. Like, even if I'm well versed on it, and she no, she needs to hear from someone else, like from a friend or something like that. Like, no, I don't believe in what you're saying. And then I think growing up, I'm sort of I'm very indecisive, I guess. People say I'm very
Hmm.
indecisive because I was never given an opportunity to make decisions. Like, what do you want to eat for dinner? No, this is what you're going to eat for dinner, right? Oh,
Hmm.
what do you want to learn? No, this is what you're going to learn. Some piano,
Hmm.
some going to math, and then that's it. It's sports stuff. No, don't even think about it, right? Every decision was being made, and then it gets to a point, as you when I got older, like, I no, I need to break free. Like, I don't want you to make my decisions, because I want to make my decision, good or bad. It's at least it's my decision. But even as old as I am right now, like, she wants to still control everything, like how I raise my son. Like, oh, this is what you need to do, right? And then it's like, no, but it's my son. You had your opportunity with me. Now it's my turn, right? I need to
mm,
Hmm.
make the decisions for myself, whether it's good or bad. And then, but even till now, she's still like that mom that needs to control everything, because, and I get it. Maybe it's her way of saying, this is how I'm going to keep you safe. This is how I'm going to, you know,
Hmm.
uh, provide for you, make sure you have a good life, is to control you. But and for me, I didn't feel it was beneficial, because that towards the like now I just feel like I'm terrible at making decisions. Even every time I go to the restaurant, like with my friends, they're like, oh, what do you want to eat? And I had to go through the whole menu saying, uh like, spend like 10-15 minutes, like, let me decide between this A, B, C, D. And then it's like, oh, at the end it's like, okay, just make a decision, because we're we're almost done with our meals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reynold, the ironic thing here is that she probably does all those things for you. It's like, the saying, the road to hell is paved with the best intentions. That's
Right.
the ironic thing there. I think she's genuinely trying to protect you, like you said, and then doing what she thinks is best for you, but it ended up
Right.
stifling you and then letting you, not letting you grow, right? I think
Right.
sort of like you've already identified the first step, which is the reveal, right? As Carla
Hmm.
was saying, you have enough self awareness to see what transpired in your life and how it led to this point. So that's why I think it's important. Carla's whole thing is there's the healing and the thriving part too, which is what we're
Hmm.
interested in learning today. Because the self awareness part, I think us Asian uncles have pretty much figured that out by now.
Yeah.
We're damaged goods. We have
Right.
so much trauma in our lives, but we just have to figure out how to heal and thrive from here on out, right? Right,
Yeah,
Carla?
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I'm thinking about his Reynolds' mother's perspective, right? She may be feeling, well, who am I outside of being a mother? This
Mm,
is
Right.
all I know. I control this aspect. I keep my identity, right?
Mhm.
If
mm,
Right.
I let go, well, then who am I?
mm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that as well. So it's really important to set. It's really important to set the boundaries, and it's really important to be clear. And I know it's hard, but it's really important to be clear. Like, I am safe.
Mm,
No, I don't have all the answers. None of us have all the answers,
mhm,
That's true.
it is okay. But Reynolds also about who the inner critic talk inside of you, and all of us have an inner critic or a judge, and a lot of that stems from whether it's our caretakers or someone who has said something about who we are, what we look like, right? And we have that constant loop in our minds. So it's
mhm,
really important to recognize when that inner critic comes up, whether it's in our minds, whether it's right there in our face, and recognize, okay, that is not um, that is not who I am. That is not the
mhm,
direction I want to go in. You're trying to keep me safe, but being safe is not how I grow, right?
mhm,
This is not a situation where I'm walking in front of traffic. This is
mhm,
just me just making a decision of what I want to eat for the day. That's it. And that's really
mhm.
just checking in with yourself, right? Like, okay, I feel like eating seafood today. I feel like eating pasta today. But sometimes that inner critic will take any decision that you're trying to make and be like, no, you have to survive. You just can't just blindly pick something. You got
Right.
it can get so out of control, and it can cause a spiral if we don't stop and recognize, okay, this is not my true thought. This is the inner critic trying to keep me safe from making a decision. Hey, let me do the opposite of what the inner critic or the judge is saying inside of me, because that's the path I want to take.
Yeah, that's why I think
Yeah.
conversations like what we're doing today are so important because
Hmm.
none of us have all the answers, but it's important to have sounding boards. Like when we talk to each other, these truths that we actually know on some level already starts coming out. We just have to
Hmm.
remind ourselves of these truths that we already know. So it's important to talk to either a therapist, a friend, a
Right.
family member who you can trust. Just talk it out. Sometimes you just have to let it out to let the truth come out. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why I love therapy, because by law, they can't tell anyone your business.
Mm.
Right.
Still feels weird though, right, Renault, to tell everybody about all these things.
To be open about something. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's just not what we're trained to do. It's so
I
hard.
know, but it's freeing. How is
Mhm,
what you're doing now serving you, right? Because
right.
mhm,
it's like a kettle that's on the stove. If it's just
mhm.
boiling and boiling, eventually that water is going to boil over, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just drown it
exactly.
out by retail therapy. I just go buy stuff. I just shop
Uh,
online, I just drown
right.
myself in all these knickknacks that I don't need. You're like, oh, another box. What am I gonna do with this?
Right. And then the credit card
And
bill
a
comes
lot
like,
of
oh man.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and a
Not
lot
very
of us
healthy.
do. Whether
Yeah,
it's retail therapy, whether it's eating, whether it's relationships, right? We all
hmm
go through those spirals to cope because
yeah.
we're not addressing the pain. And it's so important to recognize and address the pain so that healing can begin.
Reynolds, if I have the answer one day, I'll let you know because I'm trying to
Yeah.
work on it. Like, I've come to a point in my life where it's like I'm trying to learn something that's even if I don't have anybody to talk to, I can be my own best friend and I can be okay in my own headspace. Like, I'm working on that. It's very hard. The closest I've come to right now is just to eat a buffet. That usually
Hey,
kind
that's
of
not bad.
kind of works, yeah, for a couple of hours.
Right.
Yeah, that's the closest that I've come to. But if I figure it out one day, I will let you know, man.
Thank you. Yeah, well, let everyone know because yeah, I would like to know the secret too. Yeah, I've been doing that too. I've been trying to be just okay being with myself because
Mhm.
I was I had always been not always, but I felt the time where I had most fun, the most endorphins or whatever it is that makes you happy was when I was like in Taiwan um, where I could get around very easily, where I could take because taxis are cheap and there's the subway, the MRT, and I could get around, meet anyone, just go out all night long, not have to even worry about anything. And
Yeah,
then,
most
but
importantly,
now,
you weren't around your parents. They were far away.
yes, and then now I have to take care of my son, and I'm close to my parents, and actually I live with them.
Yeah,
And
that's
then I can't get around anywhere, and all my friends are going through the parenting stage where everyone's busy with their kids. No
tell me
one's
about
able to
it.
hang
Yeah.
out, right? And I'm
Yeah.
really always by myself, and I'm like, oh, this really sucks. Like I
Yeah,
can't,
so
yeah,
this is
I
like
can't.
the desert period of our
Right,
lives, like coming from all the things you described, because I went through the same thing, right? In our 20s, you feel so independent and free and life was good. And then
right,
this stage in our lives, it's just like a desert, like
right,
you can't really complain because if you complain, it'll sound like you're ungrateful. But at the
right,
same time, there are, it's a real depression. You have to be stuck in a place. You have responsibilities. You have to do those things to the best of your abilities. But the fact is, it's kind of lonely. It's kind of depressing.
yeah,
And going back to what Carla was saying earlier, like I really appreciate hearing it from her because she's a mom, right? So her insights about what a mother thinks and feels, I genuinely really wanted to hear it from Carla because she knows what she's talking about. Like if I heard it from like a 20-year-old woman, like she has no clue how to parent because she's never had a family or a child. Like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna believe a word you say, but coming from a mother of four boys, like yeah, okay, yeah, there might be something there I have to pay attention to. You know.
Yeah. And it's seasons,
exactly.
right? These
Hmm.
are seasons of your life. This is
Mm-hmm.
just for a
Yes.
moment in time. Because I remember just going through all the activities, the birthday parties, getting to one child here, there. It was like
Yeah. Oh
those years
man.
seem like forever. But now
Yeah.
that they're out of the house, you're like,
Mhm.
wow, how did the time go by? Like
I know.
after my son's game, we met with the team at a like a bar restaurant, and the waitress was like, "Hey, y'all want to sit at the bar?" And I looked at my son, and he's 22, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you can't sit at the
Yeah,
bar."
bar. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Oh,
wow,
I know, right?
that
Mind blown.
time, yes, that time goes by so fast. But
Yeah.
what was
It's true.
helpful for me when my kids were younger, pre-COVID, so the two older ones, was
Mm-hmm.
meeting with other families that have kids, and we would just rotate at each other's homes. So the kids
Mm-hmm.
would be upstairs playing, the adults would be downstairs, and we're
Yeah, yeah.
eating, and
That's what I do. Yeah.
we're just socializing and
Right,
talking.
right.
Now, after COVID, it's a little weird. And this
Yeah.
new generation of kids is different. They don't even socialize. They just socialize through gaming.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I can't even talk about that because I'm still going through it. But it does help being in a community of others that has kids and stuff. So at least no, you can't do this or can't do that, but at least you're all together
Yeah.
in one spot, eating a meal together or whatnot. That has been helpful. Even scheduling like once a quarter or once a month or something like that, where you can get together, no kids, and just
Mm.
have an adult conversation.
Oh
That's
yeah.
helpful. That's helpful as well. Maybe you just want to meet at a restaurant and have a meal. You got to eat right sometime in your
Mm-hmm.
life, so maybe you
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
grab a bite and just talk. That's helpful.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I
Yeah.
think
yeah,
women are better at doing that too. I think my wife balances that aspect of her life better than I do.
Mhm.
Women are just better at meeting up with other friends. And
yeah,
yeah, like you said, just even simple stuff like, hey, let's get together for lunch. Like let's catch up over dinner or like spend 1 or 2 hours together later this afternoon, while the kids are playing. We can sit down and talk a little bit.
yeah.
For us men, I don't know. Do we do that? do we
I think
do we do that?
we say it, with me and my friends, and even like say high school friends, college, and we all say, like, yeah, let's get together, but we never do it because we're all like busy with work or whatever. It
Yeah.
feels like the women actually do it. They say it and
Yeah,
they do it
women are
because
better at that, I think,
yeah, well,
That's the challenge
it's
for us, right, Carla, as men, to tap into that
Yeah,
side of ourselves. Yeah.
yeah, that's why I coach women, because even though I'm the only female in my home,
Hmm.
was like, I don't understand that the
Hmm.
mechanics and the ins and outs of boys, young men, and men, because we
Right.
are different. Like women, we have this innate need to have these bonds and these
Hmm.
sisterhoods and
Yeah.
whatnot. Like it's in us. And I feel like men bond around activities. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
want to go play ball? Hey, you want to go to
exactly.
this game? Hey, you want to check this bar out or whatnot? So you do have
Yeah.
your communal time,
Hmm.
but it just looks different, and that's okay
Hmm.
Right.
because we are different. But yeah, make it a challenge this year to meet up at least
Yeah.
once a month, once a
Right.
quarter,
Right.
Right.
with a friend or two. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it, Renault. We need more friends.
We need more
We need
friends.
more friends.
Or we need new friends, right? We need some
Yeah.
new friends that will hang out with us.
Yeah, we need more friends. We need new friends. We need positive
Right.
friends. Like
Right.
because
Exactly.
us Asian uncles when we get together, it's all grumble, 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 and like "Rah,
Yeah.
screw this, screw
Right.
that. It's like it's not good. We're just like constantly in a negative loop, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Go
if
hang
you
out
can
with
laugh
people like
about
that.
it, if you can laugh about it, that's good. That's positive. If you can
That's
laugh
true.
at yourself.
That's good.
That's true. I think you got that.
Right. We
Oh,
we know
geez.
what we need to work on.
You
Nothing
know
is
what you need
easy.
to work on.
Yeah,
That's
but then
right.
yeah, I think this is all part of the thriving part that Carla talks about. In order to thrive, you really have to be around people who you feel good with, right? Be with better people, people who don't contribute to that negative energy you're already feeling, right? You have to be around
Abs-
people who are good.
Right.
Absolutely. Pay attention to your energy when you're around people. Are you energized or do you feel drained? You
What
really
if I'm
have
the
to
one
pay attention
draining
to that.
them?
Hey, there you know where you need to start.
Like, people are like, "Oh God, Vic, you're such a bummer." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have more beers now.
That's why we're not. That's
Head
why
over
we're
to
not
whiskey.
inviting you
I'll
out.
just drink more. I'll just drink. I'm sorry. Please invite me out again. I really need this.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, you know what you need to
Oh
work on.
man. Oh boy. Oh gosh.
Man, but
I don't
but
know.
yeah,
I don't know what to say. Yeah. I mean, I feel better already just talking with you guys and just, being able to laugh. I think that's important. That's the healing, that's the thriving.
yes.
One thing I wanted to ask too was do you have any suggestions for how to feel more energized? I don't know. You seem like a pretty energetic person. I mean, like that's one of the challenges that I am coping with. I struggle to find the energy sometimes to get motivated and just to get off my seat and like meet life with gusto. Like you have any advice for that, Carla?
Yeah, absolutely. It's mind, body, and spirit. So, with your mind, it's so well, all three. It's so important to, like we said, check in with yourself. What is draining you, and not
Mhm.
just people, but what are the tasks? What are is it your job? Look at what's really draining you in your life, and that's
What
where
if
you
it's
can
my
make the
kids, but I can't get rid of them, right?
well,
Uh,
that's where you break the cycle and break the monotony, and you go out and do something spontaneous and
Mm,
fun. You
mm,
communicate, you talk, especially if they're younger. They
mhm,
want to have fun. They want to do those things. So, and
mm,
it doesn't
mhm,
even have to. I feel like it was easier to entertain when they were younger because like
mm.
right.
they would play with a box, a cardboard
Yeah,
box, and
yeah.
make a fort
Mhm,
Yeah.
out of it, right? It's
mhm.
Right.
creative play. But
Uh,
yeah, they're going to be with you for a very long time. So you got to change. You got to change. You got to
Because I have
change
a 2 year
change
old
things
too,
up.
Carla. My 2 year old. My eldest is 15, and then my
Hmm.
daughter is 2. So it's a big age gap, right? Just when I
Hmm.
thought I was like, yes, I'm finally gonna be free, and suddenly I have a 2 year old again, and I'm in my 40s. So like I'm
Oh,
just,
that was me. Yeah,
oh
that was
really?
me.
See,
Yeah, there's a big
exactly. That's
gap in
why
my
that's
kids.
why I was thinking like I should ask you.
Yeah, there was a big gap with my kids. So I have 25, 22, and 13. So yeah,
Right? Yeah.
when the baby was born, my oldest was eighth grade or ninth grade. I can't remember. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so important for us to do things as a family, like fun things. Like we would go to the trampoline park, and you would see the
Mm-hmm.
older two become a kid again, right?
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
we would go out and we would do activities together, get out of the house,
Mm.
break that monotony, and do
Yeah.
things together. So
Okay.
that
Okay.
that was important. Things that you can incorporate all ages into.
Right.
We did that, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just
Mm-hmm.
going out and just even if it's a park, just
Mm-hmm.
going out and just having a good time, and even
Mm.
asking for the kids' input because they have a lot of ideas too of the things they
Right.
would like to or like to do. But having a 2-year old, that's why your energy is draining because 2-year olds are
They're so
tough.
demanding. I'm in my
Yes, they
40s. Damn it. Like I should be like
yes.
kicking back and drinking tea or something, at this point.
Oh my gosh. I remember when my youngest, it was his first Halloween and he wanted to trick or treat. And I'm like, I can't take this away from him. But I didn't want to do it. But I was like, I'm gonna
Right,
do
right.
it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the pictures. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But as he got older, I would try to bargain with him, like, hey, I could just buy you candy. We really don't have to do this.
Nice.
But he was like, no, Mom, I wanted to trick or treat. And so,
Girl
I
after my own heart, Carla. Like
exact
you
I
speak my
know.
language. Like, hey,
I
maybe you
know.
could just go to the store. I can buy you candy.
Exactly. But you know what? I put my big girl boots on and I went out there and
Yeah.
I did it with them and he enjoyed it and it was fun. But we have to change this perspective and look at it. It's only for a moment that they're going to be
Mhm.
this young. It's only
That's
for a
true.
moment they're going to be a teenager and then they're going to be out of this
I
house.
know. I'm already starting to
Yeah,
feel it with my eldest. I'm like, oh my
e-
God, in a few more
e-
years, he's off to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly,
Goes by so
exactly.
fast.
Yeah, and I would say physically, when it comes to your energy, it's so important to get your checkups. It's so important to pay attention to what you're eating. It's so
Hmm.
important to get rest. People don't
Hmm.
think about how important sleep is, right?
Hmm.
Oh,
I remember
that's
with the
right.
2-year-old, when my kids were two, I would go to sleep with them.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Be so because
Yes.
I would be so tired. But don't
Yeah.
beat yourself up about that because you have a 2-year-old. They are demanding. It is tough, but again, this is only a season. Just look at this
Right.
as a season. And then
Mhm.
mentally, when it comes to your energy as well, it's checking in with yourself. Maybe I need to talk with someone. Maybe I need to spend some more time with adults, right? Those things are so important and exercise is important. I don't like doing it. I used to run track in college too, but I don't even want to run
Hmm.
anymore. But it's
Mm.
so important to do some type of walking, some type of strength training, some type of exercise. Even if you just chase a 2-year-old, that's exercise. When they jump, you jump.
Hmm. That's why what you said at the
Uh,
beginning is so important to me, and it resonated with me, which is like you don't have to seek for
Hmm.
perfection. Because sometimes I feel like I'm exhausted because am I really being a good parent to my kids? Am I doing enough? And then what you said really, hit me because I realized that, well, you don't have to be perfect all the time, and just
right.
try your best, try to show up for them as much as you can, right? But if some off days you're just really like you're just out of it, you should forgive yourself a couple of days. It's okay.
Yeah. And trust me, the teenager will tell you if you're doing a bad job.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. He reminds me every day. You know, Dad, you gotta lock in. Those Gen Z terms. You gotta lock in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like what? Lock,
Absolutely.
lock, lock. What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, well, did I forget to lock the door? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Gotta lock in. Like
exactly.
what?
What's going on
Gotta
here? I don't know.
lock in that mentality. I love
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. I was like,
Yes, yes,
okay, all right. You got a point. I gotta
yeah,
lock in. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But your teenager's at a good age where you can have these conversations with them.
Oh yeah, like I have to constantly switch too. Like I realize with my little girl, I have to be like, all fun and Barney, and then when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to my teenager, like immediately you have to switch into like, is he asks questions about life now, right? Like, Dad, well, like,
Mm-hmm.
in the future, if I go off to college, what am I gonna do? Blah 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 blah. And like he even asked me really hard questions like, "Are you sure you're making enough money for all of us?" Like, oh, okay, that kind of hurts, but all right.
It's home right there.
So, like,
Did you
are
get
you
that from
sure
your
And,
you're
grandma?
doing your best? Like, you could be making more a year. Like, oh, okay. Now you're starting to sound like grandpa, but all right. No,
and
I
that's when you
I kid, but yeah, he asked those really
Yeah,
serious
and that's
questions.
when you tap into, okay, what is driving this question? And it sounds like it's fear. But don't use that term. This is just me talking to you. But
Hmm.
just ask, I'm just curious. What made you ask that question? Just to see if it's fear-based, if it's something that he's receiving from the outside of how a man should be, how this should
Yeah,
be, how much
yeah,
money he
right.
should
Good
make.
insights there,
Because
Carla. Yeah.
yeah, because then that's that generational trauma and mindset that has to be that must be broken in order to live a healthy, joyful life. So
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
just ask those curiosity questions. I'm just curious. Why do you ask?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
A-
Yeah.
yeah, and at 14, 13, 14, 15, they're not supposed to have their whole life figured out. We don't
Hmm.
have our lives figured out.
Right,
All
that's
right.
true. Yeah. I think in
Right.
my case, it doesn't help that his grandfather is so rich too, right? It's like constantly getting
Oh,
compared. It's like, I thought I escaped the cycle, but no, my own son is like bringing up these questions now. Like, hey,
Right.
why is grandpa making so much money? Like, what are you sure you're really locked in? And like, what are you doing with your life? Like, oh, that hurts.
and then that's when you say that comparison is the thief of joy. Maybe you should talk
Yeah.
to your grandfather about his journey
Yeah.
and what it took to get to where he is now. Is
Yeah.
that a path that you want to take? Because there's a lot of sacrifices that had to be made
Oh,
for
I
your
remind him every
grandfather
day. I'm
to,
like,
yeah.
like you think that grandpa was there for me all the time, like I do for you. Pfft. Like my,
Hmm.
grandfather was never around. Okay, what do you think? Like he just like shows up at every graduation, every parent teachers conference,
Right.
all birthday parties with your friends. You think he just shows up? No, he was never there. Okay, that's a price for being rich. Okay.
Abs- Absolutely. And is that a price that your son is willing to pay? Because
Yeah, right.
you can't have it both ways.
That's
Exactly.
right.
But right now he's young and all he sees is like power. I want power. Like
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Power
yeah,
at that
yeah,
money.
age,
yeah.
we're like, that's what's attractive to them, right? Like, I want
Right.
power. Like, all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Right.
Someday
They'll
you'll
realize it
appreciate your
one
old
day.
man.
Yes. That's when you quote Spider-Man, with a great power comes great responsibility.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah,
That's right. I hope
exactly.
how much you know in the future when you become a father of your own, right? Like you have
That's
your own
right.
kids. You finally recognize the sacrifices I had to make for you.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Or just being an adult on their own is when they really recognize that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Oh, it's such an
Hmm.
interesting journey. That's true. And it's so much fun talking to other parents like yourself. It really
Hmm.
reminds me that like I'm not doing such a bad job and I should like forgive myself more and check into myself too. That's important as well, right?
Yeah. And the more kids you have, your mindset is different. Like with this third one, I'm like, he's alive. I
Mm,
won. He's
mm.
still alive. He is breathing. I won. With the first one,
There
you
you
want to give all this organic food. You want to do all
I
this. You
know,
want to
go.
do
right? The
all
first one, I'm like, oh,
that.
you got to buy everything organic,
Ah,
right.
Second, third one, yeah, whatever. Yeah, Mickey
Uh,
D's is
exactly.
fine. Mickey D's is
yeah,
fine.
right.
Exactly.
Go have some fries.
Exactly. Exactly. He is alive. He has all these
Right.
allergies, but guess what? We kept him alive today.
Yeah. Carlos,
Right.
that's because you're locked in. There you go. I'm cool now. I use the Gen Z slang.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh man.
Oh man. Oh
Jeez.
that
Okay.
that was
Well,
a good one.
so how about Reynold, take us to words of wisdom?
Yes. Usually towards the end of the show, we like our guests to share their little nugget of wisdom, little take-home message. I know you probably have a lot, but maybe you can sort of consolidate, give us something something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to reinforce this message. Forgive yourself for what you thought you had to do to survive.
Mm,
That
yeah.
will set you free
Mm,
in all areas of your life. Show yourself love and compassion. It starts with you first, and then you're able to do that to other people as well. But it
Mm.
starts with you yourself.
Wow. Thank you for that very
Thank you.
powerful message, Karla.
Oh, you're
Yes,
so
yes.
welcome.
Vic, did you want to add anything to that?
Well, I just want to say that talking today made me realize that we're all learning. It's really important to just have someone to talk to. I think that's it really for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Work on ourselves, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Carla says, I need to work on myself first.
but it's important to have someone to talk to as well. Just
Hmm.
so you bring it out of each other, because if you're constantly in your own head,
Right.
you're just going in a loop, right? But if you have somebody to talk with, they draw out ideas from you.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why we need coaches like Carla here.
Yes, exactly. We need more people like Karla.
Yes. Well, thank you again, Carla, for joining us. Let me thank the audience for joining us as well. Please like and subscribe uh, to our video, to our show. And again, sharing is caring. And again, see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.